Hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. So last week we found ourselves at a mountain called Sinai, and God was giving the Israelite nation 10 foundational laws we now call the 10 commandments. Last week we thought about the first two: worship only God and don't worship anything else. This week, numbers 3 and 4. Last week our two commandments fitted nicely with each other, but this week they're a bit different from each other, so hopefully I'll get through them all in time. Number 3 is don't misuse God's name, and number 4 is take one day to rest and worship God every week. So let me say at the outset that I'm not here to tell you what to do. Hopefully that came across next week. I firmly believe that what Jesus did at Easter changed the nature of the relationship between God and humans, and what we do and say is a matter for each of us. We should be, Christians in particular, we should be motivated by love for God and love for other people. That love impacts what we say. If I have a great friend, then I don't go around bad-mouthing them. I speak well of them and I build them up, whether they're listening or not. And that's what I think it's like for Christians. When I speak of God, of Jesus, or of the Holy Spirit, I want to speak well of them. I want to be positive, because as a Christian I love God. If we start to unpick the command not to misuse God's name, actually it goes much further than simply saying God or Jesus in a derogatory context. It covers things like swearing on the Bible and then not telling the truth. It covers things like trying to use God as some sort of magic formula, or trying to control God through how we speak of him. The way our language has evolved incorporates words and phrases whose meanings have changed or sometimes been lost. God help us can be said with real meaning, as a prayer truly asking God to intervene and help. Or it can be a throwaway comment in a bad situation. So today my motivation for how I speak of God and how I include Jesus and the Holy Spirit in that is love. Love that I have for God and a desire to speak well of God. I speak the name Jesus as I would any of my friends. So what about the other command I mentioned? Always take one day to rest. Its original name is Sabbath, and the original command was to pretty much do nothing on that day. On any of the other 6 days of the week we do the work we need to do, and on the 7th day we rest. I think the most important thing I wanted to draw out of that is something about how I believe God has designed us. I believe we're designed in a way that we need rest. I know that for myself, if I've not managed to take out some me time each week, it's not long before I start to notice it. Last year I actually had quite a long stretch between the middle of February and the middle of August where, other than the normal pattern of week, I didn't take any additional time out from my jobs, my job at BT where I work 4 days a week, and from doing LRCC church stuff. And it seemed to go on forever. I was so tired, and when I eventually got 2 weeks off at the back end of August last year, I was so ready for it. And I really realised that I really was designed to take more rest than I had been doing. Whether you're a Christian or not, I hope you recognise the real need to rest. If we don't, we run the very real risk of burnout. You may know someone that's happened to, and it's not good. So these two commands, they're about what we say and about what we do. Both important things, but for different reasons. If for no other reason, you might want to think about what you say out of respect for people around you. After all, do you know what beliefs they might have? And if you struggle to take time out for you, for your relationships, or for your faith, just spare a thought that maybe in some way we have evolved, or we are designed, as I would believe, that way, that we need to take time out. And don't feel guilty for having that time for you. It actually enriches us. And when we take time to work on our relationships as well, they too get even better. God bless you. I'll see you next week.